We have the amazing Ryan Fraga to go over the Oxballs and Hunky Junk line. As you can see, he has an awesome camera setup, so you're going to be able to see all of his products. Just keep popping your questions into the Q&A, and we will get to him as he has dips in his presentation. So without further ado, Ryan, the floor is yours.
Thanks, that's quick. I appreciate the fast introduction. You know, I am going to correct you. My last name is pronounced Fraga. I never correct anybody. And everybody thinks my last name is Fraga. So yes, my name is Ryan Fraga. Thanks for the quick introduction. Thank you to East Coast News for hosting this. And thanks to everybody for being on the call today. I'm really grateful to have the time with you guys. Those of you that don't know me, I'm the director globally for the brands Oxballs and Hunky Junk. And I've been with the company about 7 years. And Oxballs been around about 15 years. We're super grateful to have partners like East Coast News and like all of you guys that are on this call today. You know, the time that we're all facing is unpredictable, to say the least. There are challenges. I've been talking with lots of you guys out there, and really always really impressed and humbled by the way that I'm hearing that you guys are overcoming these challenges and navigating the world as it unfolds in front of us. And adapting quickly. And I know a lot of you that are buyers on this call, man, you've had to be back working on your floors, you know, and I'm just really impressed with the way that this industry as a whole has sort of moved through this with a smile and with grace and with success, obviously. So thanks to you guys for continuing to be great partners for us, both East Coast News and all of the retailers that continue to give us the shelf space that you guys give us. So today, I want to do things a little differently. A lot of you have been on calls with me before, just like this, or in person in a show. And I want to talk a little bit broader picture about us as a brand, about offerings, and about what we have to offer you guys. So, you know, who are we? What makes us special? Why should you be spending your money with us? I'm going to start off by talking to those of you who already know us as a business, and I want to speak into the challenges that you guys are facing. Look, I know that prices have gone up, and I know that stock has been an issue. And I will tell you, for us, you guys know we have not raised our prices, and my fill rate is next to perfect and has been through the last year. It is all of the reason why I'm telling you, you need to partner with us, be a better partner with us. You can trust us. You can depend on us to continue to be steadfast in what we're providing you guys and the support that we're giving you guys. Come spend your money with us. Let us help your business stay stable in the men's arena. We're going to continue to maintain our price levels and maintain our stock levels. That takes investment on our part, and we're doing it to be a good partner to you guys. For those of you who don't know us, let me step back a little bit and tell you about who we are and what we do. Look, Oxballs is a super edgy, aggressive men's brand. We're hyper-focused on what it means to build really good, interesting men's product. We're really fearless. So our naming, our designs can be really out there, but we really hit a need that's out there. And that is the way that men think and talk about play, right? I know there's a lot of very safe, very clean product out there, and you guys need to be able to speak that message. But you also need to be able to hit that category of buyer who's coming in that is really after sort of something that's a little bit more edgy, a little bit more aggressive. And a lot of men think and talk about play in a little bit more of an aggressive way, right? Men don't necessarily want to have a conversation about their shaft or about their perineum. They want to have a conversation about their cock, and they want to say words that are a little bit more aggressive. And Oxballs really hits that mark, the way that that customer thinks and talks about play. We also hit the mark for somebody who maybe has a partner, right? That they want to bring home something that's more sexy and less clinical for their partner, and they want something a little bit more playful. We tend to hit that more edgy, interesting, really aggressive message that that customer can take something home and it's fun. It's not necessarily like, oh, here's a cock ring. You didn't seem hard enough last time. It's like, oh, here's a cock sling. And this looked really sexy. I'd like to see this on you. And that's really what Oxballs is about. We come from a hardcore gay fetish background, but given that we were gay men who were toy users and we really love toys, the market that's available to us and the customer that's interested in our toys is much broader than that. And we've had to adjust our understanding of who we are over time as we figured out that men and women buying with male partners of all kinds of interests and backgrounds are really interested in this stuff because of the aggressive kind of edgy tone that it takes. What else makes us special? Design and materials. We really think about what we're making. We are not buying the stuff off the shelf from a factory. Everything that we make is our designs. It's our molds. It comes from our hand sketches, sometimes on a napkin from Ox, and is built into AutoCAD and into a mold at that place. I'm going to do something else that I've never done, and it's not to be aggressive about other companies, but I do want to compare some products. And I'm not going to show you what companies these are from. These are generic products that I picked off the shelf, and I'm not going to show you packaging, but I do want to show you some other products in the same ranges and compare quickly to our base stuff to show you what I mean by our designs are different and they're better and they fit better the way men want something to fit and feel. So just basically, let's talk about some rings really quick. Rings are obviously the best-selling category in men's aside from lube, and that's going to be the case pretty much in every retailer. We build a ton of rings. We build them in big scales, bigger scales, medium scales, thickness, all that. But I want to show you basically our smallest rings compared to a pretty standard small set of rings that's out there in the space right now in a couple different brands. So this is Ringer. This is our pack of small rings. I already kind of opened this guy. It opens like a condom set, so each pack is individually wrapped. This is our smallest ring that we make, and it's got a flat inner ring so that when you seat it, it doesn't roll or pinch over your hair. Price point on this, sorry, I wasn't going to talk about pricing. Low price point, very entry-level pricing. This is another company's ring set. It's pretty common. It's in a lot of different brands. You can kind of not see it behind my shirt. But you can see right out the gate the difference in the scale of these, right? This is your standard set. It's about the same entry-level price as our standard set. And the difference in scale here is why our stuff fit and feels differently. Our stuff is weighted. It has more grip. It has more thickness. It doesn't break. It is a premium product because of the way that we design something. We're not waiting for a factory to send us something that's generic. We're designing around the way something should fit and feel, even our smallest entry-level pieces like Ringer. Same thing with something like an extender. This is a pretty simple standard extender. It's got an open end. It's got some texture on it. Neat piece, right? It's got a nice little head, and it's got these dots around this ribbing. And then our sheaths, our extenders. This is Butch. It's one of our best sellers. The scale alone of what you're getting out of our package and the design features to it. Sorry, my ghost is taking over. So Butch here with all of this extra detail where it's got the closed-ended sling, it's got a base that is our design, which is that sling that drops around the testicles. You've got a stop cap here that actually makes it that you can adjust the size and adjust the interior. And because it's closed-ended, ours is going to lock down onto you in place with pressure and actually become an extension of your body. So if you're building offering sets, I'm not telling you not to be carrying stuff that is more entry level. What I am saying is that if you look at our stuff in comparison, we're always going to hit your best category. And if you're building on good, better, best, we really will always hit your best category. And there's not a lot of competition out there. For us, we do this really well and better than other people. It's why our prices are a little bit higher. You're going to be able to speak into the functionality and the fit of things, even entry level pieces, into why our stuff is the best piece that you guys can offer on the floor in that category. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? I want to talk about the remaining time that I have left and what I want to go over. One thing I want to go over is the basic categories that I believe everybody needs to hit in men's product and what do we have to offer in those categories. So it's about 5 categories I'll go over. I want to talk about the planograms that we have that you guys see set up behind me in these black boxes. I do want to mention right now on the call, I do want to talk about the overall pricing of these kits. I was asked based on retailer feedback that you guys didn't want to hear specifics of pricing. And I wanted to mention, I would like to mention the overall buy-in of these kits and what they cost for all of the products combined so that you guys can understand what the buy-in would be to get a hold of, a whole set of category of products. If anybody on this call would like for me not to do that, can you guys speak up now and let Pete know and he'll tell me not to do that when I get to that place. But I do want to go. Yep.
I'm so sorry. We had a question about the last product and they wanted to know if it's condom compatible.
Is it condom compatible? Here's my, are you talking about the extender? I'm sure, right? The sheath. My feedback for anybody is to always only use a condom as directed on a condom package. A condom is a medical device, and I would encourage any business to strictly give that feedback if somebody asks that. I would tell you behind the scenes, yes, our stuff is condom compatible. It's everything I'm showing you is TPR or a silicone TPR base, and in that they're going to be compatible material wise. But I'm always very careful to encourage you as a business to be really mindful of the products that you are selling that are medical device, such as lube, condoms, and to make sure that you recommend that somebody, backtrack and only recommend that somebody uses that as directed because it's a medical device that you are selling. Does that answer your question? I know that was a little bit not a yes or no. It was a yes, but is that fair?
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure. Kits, I want to talk about that. Like I said, speak up if you don't want me to talk about overall pricing. I won't talk about piece pricing, but I do want to talk about the buy-in price. If somebody's opposed to that, please speak up. And I want to talk about some of the newer stuff that came out this year. You guys can see it behind me. You guys might be familiar with it if you were on this through some of the other things we've done with East Coast News this year. And if you're not, I want to get your eyes on some of the new stuff and what has sold well. And lastly, I want to talk about signage and some other stuff that's free that you guys can get a hold of. So how do you build a smart offering in men's product? I'm going to tell you that based on my experience and feedback and my knowledge through the years, there's really 5 base categories that I believe every retailer, no matter if you're hardcore gay fetish or you're super mainstream and doing lingerie, that you really need to hit in the men's arena. And for me, that is rings. That's an obvious one. The segment we call cock slings, and I'll go over the difference between those two things. You need ball stretchers, which is something that I believe not as many retailers are as familiar with. So we'll talk about what those look like, extenders and sheaths. And lastly, some sort of anal, prostate, butt toy, for lack of a better term on that category. And that is a category that I think you guys know your market best of how crazy you need to go, how big you need to go, whether it's something simple or something more complex. So in those 5 categories, I want to talk about rings and slings. I want to say one thing about those categories too. The sheets, the overall offering that we built for you guys that's available at East Coast News on their website right now through the event, it hits all of these categories. Everything that's on there is a part of what I have learned is a best-selling category, and you really could do right by making sure that you hit some offering inside all of these 5 across everything that we have to offer. So rings, slings, a ball toy or 2, cock sheaths, extenders, and some kind of prostate toy. Everything that we listed is bestsellers for us. We're not trying to push stuff right now through East Coast News that we have extra stock of or that's new or anything like that. We put all the new stuff, and then we put all of the stuff that is best selling in those categories to make sure that you guys have eyes on that. So rings and slings. The difference between a ring and a sling, what we call those 2 things. So these both kind of function under the same category in that they are intended to loop around everything, including the testicles and the shaft, and trap some blood flow, help you feel stronger, help you have a bigger, firmer erection. Rings are pretty simple, easy to understand. You guys should have lots of scale of those and different price points and different sizes in different scale of price points. All those things you should hit kind of low to medium scale on that. Slings is equally as important, I believe. And if you can get on top of some really good selling dialogue behind why slings are more interesting, you guys can hit some better sales on these guys. So what the difference between a ring and a sling is, I've gone over this with anybody that's been on a call with me before. A sling is, if you can see that picture, basically something where everything goes down through, but there's a different section to drop the testicles down through versus the shaft. So what that does is basically accomplish everything a ring is going to do, right, through that one main opening. And then by dropping the testicles down through another section and then separating the shaft, what happens is a lot of guys end up having a more explosive, intense orgasm. Who doesn't want a bigger cum shot, right? By holding the testicles away from their body, a lot of guys tend to retract up towards their body when they go to orgasm, and this keeps their testicles from doing that and helps them feel like they're having a more intense, explosive experience. Slings also kind of hold things up and out more forward. It's like a push-up bra for your junk. Everybody likes feeling, looking a little bit bigger. And again, going to do everything, it's going to do everything that a ring is going to do by trapping some blood, making you feel firmer and stronger and keeping a little bit stronger of an erection. So I push slings as a huge part of a main category that you need for a reason. The reason I consider this the most important part of your offering is through my own experience. If you guys can get on top of selling these, why you should be selling them and talking to your customers about them, you're going to improve your customer experience, right? They're going to get a better experience than a simple ring because it's going to do all those added things besides just trapping some blood. It's going to make them feel bigger, bigger erection, push up their stuff, make them have a bigger explosive orgasm. But also you guys are doubling your point of sale power on the same buyer. So you've got a customer that comes through the door looking for a ring or some kind of a dick toy, for lack of a better term. And instead of just talking them into a simple ring that's maybe $5, $10, $15 if you're lucky, now you're talking them into a piece that's $25 to $35, depending on how you guys price in your store. And you guys can double, triple your point of sale power on the same customer. You'll also buy brand loyalty with the Sling, because they're going to come back saying that was a really cool experience. What else from Oxballs? What else from your store? And you guys will have some brand loyalty to yourselves and to us. Slings are a hugely important part of anybody's offering. So slings and rings. There's lots of stuff that we have to offer in that segment. I showed you just now, this is Cock Sling 2. This is one of our best sellers. Another really popular seller is Tri-Sport. Tri-Sport is a really simple, easy to understand 3-ring sling. It's basically 3 different loops of different sizes, really easy to understand, not overly designed. Those different sizes mean that somebody can turn this and make it fit and feel differently, tighter around different places if they're smaller in a different place. Really great conversation to be having with somebody if instead of asking somebody, how big they are, you can have a conversation about something like Tri-Sport being different shapes and sizes with the ring, so somebody can turn it and make it fit tighter or looser around them, and somebody can basically answer that question for themselves instead of you having to ask them how big they are.
Ryan, we have a couple of questions.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So Crystal Martinez says, your products are great sellers for me, but I do have a lot of men asking if you will make something similar to the Hunky Junk and donuts that are thinner. They love the material, but it's just too thick for what they like.
The answer is yeah. Are you talking about the single packs, can I ask? These huge single rings and then the 3-pack?
She said that I know you have the willies, but they love the shape and feel like Hunky Junk of the Hunky Junk and the donuts.
But they want something smaller than that or thinner.
Thinner, like the Hunky Junk. She's talking about the single packs and the, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, Hunky Junk will continue to evolve. This is a pretty significant scale ring. We certainly have plans to do some other packs that are coming of some smaller stuff in Hunky Junk. The material is different. So speaking about the difference for everybody else between Hunky Junk and Oxballs, Hunky Junk is the same manufacturing process, so same quality and design that you come to expect out of us, but it's a little softer, it's a little less aggressive, it's not as tight in its feel. So I think that's probably what your customer is speaking into. And the simple answer is yes, we have a lot of new stuff coming towards the end of the year. So come back to East Coast News website, pay attention to the coming soon section later, and that stuff will be there in about 100 days, 120 days.
Okay, and we have a few more questions. So Grayson McCaleb says, in addition to the planos behind you, do you have any larger planos that are more inclusive of a variety of products, such as the tail plugs? Coming.
East Coast News will have them first. Awesome. I promise. Not at this event. I'm not allowed to talk about it either, but it will come.
Okay, and Barb Levine says, tell me the name of the last product that you showed.
The Hunky Junk product?
The Oxballs.
The Tri-Sport, yeah. So it's Tri-Sport, and it's I showed you the clear one, and this is the black one. It's one of our best sellers, and it's a really simple, easy to understand design. It's got really good point of sale support on the back, where you guys got that picture to show how this is worn. Really important to note about that imagery. We have it all over Hunky Junk. We have it all over the back of Oxballs. We have note cards and kind of product stories in the back of our product for a reason. This is to help you guys sell. We know our stuff is a little bit more elaborate than simple stuff that's out there. This is to give you guys the opportunity to be able to describe something without having to be experts at it, right? I mean, let's face it, most store staff don't own the bits and pieces to be able to have the experience to have some personal knowledge about this. And let's also face it, most men or people buying for a male partner don't really want to have a really detailed conversation. When I talk with retailers and the experience that I've had on retail floors, it's not the same thing selling men's product as it is selling a vibe, right? A vibe user comes in and is interested in expanding on an experience. I liked this, I didn't like this, here's what I'd like next. Men and people shopping with male partners, they don't know what they want. when they walk in most of the time. So being able to have a conversation by breaking the language barrier simply with imagery is a really powerful selling tool. And we try to give you guys that across all of our products. Even some of our stuff, you know, beyond just the simple picture, we've got booklets on the back of our product. We've got these booklets, you know, that have a brand story about who we are, what we do, what makes us special, how we make this stuff, really to try to improve the customer experience and the storyline behind why you guys have this and why it's in front of them and why they need to buy it. Helps you guys sell, you know, to this particular customer, you know, beyond the other things that you guys can do that are helpful, like testers and things like that for softness so that people can feel stuff. There's ways that we have really improved and focused in on the way that you guys need help selling, and imagery is a huge part of that for men's categories.
Awesome. So
Grace,
sorry, go ahead.
For my end time, so I can edit to 11:20, right, is my end time?
Let me.
Correct.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah,
Sorry,
9
Peter
minutes.
has the schedule. So Christy Williams says that she had a few men tell her that this is the best ring they've ever worn. Marva says amazing products. I brought them in last year. They've flown out the door. I'm excited to try other products, so thank you. And Virginia White had a question. Which of the cock sheaths do you recommend if you aren't carrying any currently?
Great question, and thank you guys for the positive feedback. Gosh, I sound really arrogant on this call, and I'm just going to own that. We really do make the best stuff, and we really do become a guy's favorite. And I'm just going to start saying that like it is, because that is the truth of my experience in the space. And we really can become a powerful part of anybody's business with the right offering and with the right voice behind it. We really, like you guys are giving the feedback, we really become mostly your best sellers and can really hit some good numbers for you guys in a category that is, you know, a little bit lower price points. So to your question, which single one would you carry? I don't know that I would carry just one. I know that's going to sound really salesy. I'm sounding really salesy and arrogant on this call. I love it. I would carry two, and I'll tell you why that is. I think customers need options, and I think with options, you end up selling more of any one piece, much less both of them, because what you're doing is you're basically solidifying that this is something somebody should be looking at. And here's some different choices and some different styles inside that. I'm going to recommend two that are different. And they go side by side in my book. The one on the lower part that's got a little bit more detail is called Butch, and the one in my upper hand is called Muscle. And these two merch side by side for a couple reasons. Obviously, the scale difference and the length difference is visually there for you guys to see, so that somebody can choose something based on whether or not they want depth or whether or not they want something a little thicker. There's also some differences in the amount of detail that these have. And by the way, both of these are our best sellers. I definitely recommend clear. Black is always going to be our best seller, except if your dick goes in it. So sorry for the crass way to put that, but if your dick goes in it, clear is going to, guys want to see their dick and stuff. So if it's a ring or if it's something that goes around everything, black's always our best seller. Clear if your dick goes in it.
Nice. Grayson McCaleb says, speaking of imagery, do you have or have you had any marketing materials like t-shirts or for retailers?
No, I've got a lot of signage right now for you guys to build really nice signage, but as we had plans to do that, and then the world has been very challenging logistics wise, we've kind of had to take a step back for a minute on some of that. So sorry for that, but probably by next year, we should have something more fun for you guys.
Awesome. And Victor just says, in love with your products, just not a fan of the crooked hanging on the peg walls.
I'm not either, Victor. Thanks for that. Behind me, and just so you know, what'll ever happen is this is a first run. So what'll happen is something will show up like that. It'll be wrong. And then you'll see us fix it, which is what you see above and on the sides where we have the opportunity to redo anything on a second run. So the stuff that you see behind me, this is still some of our newest stuff, and it's some of my first run stock. And when something shows up like that, we always will fix it. I'll tell you a fix. You can always grab a hole punch and a strong one and punch it in the right spot. That's pretty much our fix too. We're going to punch the hole in a different spot based on the weight ratio of how it's hanging. Does that help?
And if you don't have a strong hole punch, those super sticky hang tags work really well too.
Yep. Great suggestion, Grace. Thanks for that. Yeah. I've got 5 minutes left. So I want to talk about the kits because I think it's really an important part for us to talk about, because rather than have you guys go through piece by piece and try to hit these categories that I talked about and have made notes about the things I've been talking about, I really want to get on top of what we did here and what's available to you guys, even if you have our stuff already in stock. Our planograms are a great value, and they're a great way to ensure that you guys are covering the categories that I'm telling you are must-haves. So all these that are blocked in behind me, there's 2 sets, one for each brand. They are only built with top sellers, and they've got a ton of free stuff on them. So, when I'm saying rings, slings, ball stretchers, extenders, that's what these are made with. The smaller kits that you see, so these 2 smaller ones, one in Oxballs that's smaller and one in Hunky Junk that's smaller, those guys are just made with the rings, slings, and ball toys. So smaller stuff, great for somebody who maybe wants to just try out or is new to us and wants to make sure that they just see what happens. I would tell you that I would always merchandise these together. Don't separate out the product. Find a category in your men's that works and put it together. And the reason I'm suggesting that is 2 things. One, our packaging is super small for a reason. We want to make sure that you guys get the most impact out of the square footage that you're giving us, the most money out of that space. And in an effort to do that, we've made our package really as tight as it can possibly be around stuff. But what that happens is there's a lot of packaging out there in the same category that for the same types of pieces will be double, triple the size. And if you start merching the stuff in with it, it gets lost. I really encourage you guys to put our stuff in one place and get it together. The other reason to do that is oftentimes our designs cross several categories. So is a sling a ball toy or is it a cock ring? Is it, what do you do with that? Same thing, I don't even know that a lot of stores have a ball stretching section unless you're a gay shop. That's a very sort of like iconically gay segment, but I don't know that most, retailers have a ball stretching section. So where do you put that? My suggestion is get these together. They're intended to be merged together. The packaging will pop better, and it will also be kind of a centerpiece to drawing people to a men's area that they can shop for other kinds of toys, not just ours. So the small kits, they come with a lot of free stuff. They come with the signage that's already pre-built into them. They come with a bunch of free rings. So on this, see my ghost, they come with, on the small side for Oxballs, you get a whole brick of our single pack of the Willy ring. So those of you that are familiar with the 3-pack, this is a single one of it. It's called OXR1 ring, really well branded. You get 20 of those for free on the small guy. And you get 5-pack of these guys, which are actually sold on the kit. It's the huge single pack. You get a 5-pack for free on the small kit, the buy-in of these guys. Really low price points. The buy-in of I didn't hear anybody tell me no on pricing, so I'm going to continue on. The small kit wholesale price on the Hunky Junk side is only $323. It's just the buy-in of the pieces. It's 2 deep on everything that's more larger scale, and it's 4 deep on the small stuff that I know you guys will move really fast. Same thing on the Oxball side. It's just the buy-in of the pieces, and it's 2 deep on everything big, and it's 4 deep on the small stuff like ringer and the new Willy rings that are built onto it. The buy-in on the small guy is $386 wholesale. And then not including, you get about, for the small guy in Oxballs, it's 20 pieces. We recommend, $4 MSRP on the OXR rings. So you get all that value for free on top of that. For the big guys, you've got everything that the small guys come with, so the rings and the slings, but also you've got some bigger pieces like our extenders on the Hunky Junk side. You've got a prostate toy on the Hunky Junk side. On the Oxball side, you've got both sheaths that I recommended. So you've got the butch and you have muscle built onto that kit already. Sorry, all my papers are flying. Onto the big one. And on the big kit on the Oxball side, you actually get 2 of those bricks of OXR1 rings. So now you're getting 40 rings. And on the big kit on the Hunky Junk side, you're getting a whole tub so you can secondary merch of the OXR1 rings, so you can put these somewhere else in your store, and those come with 15 free of the single pack rings. The buy-in on the large kit for Hunky Junk is $647, and on the Oxballs side, your buy-in is $776. Listen, other things is really quick. I've got 1 minute left. You see the signage across from me. We've got all that signage for free. It's available at East Coast News. I just checked the stock. It's everywhere, every location. Please take that. It's free. It's for you guys to build nice, cool, interesting spaces to draw people's attention. I've seen really cool stuff with the big round one where people do them like 3D, where they do 3 of them in a triangle and hang it in the store. I've seen really cool stuff with people doing lines with the signs, things like that. Please take it. It's for you guys to take advantage of. It's all free. And I didn't get to our new stuff, but please check out a lot of the new stuff that came out this year. It's done very, very well, particularly both of the extenders. This is muscle ripped, like a ripped dude. The clear and the black have done really well. The Invader, which is an open-ended sheath, as well as the Willie rings, which is one of our best-selling rings down here at the bottom.
Brian, you can take a couple extra minutes. We have people asking questions, and I don't want to cut you off while we have people seeking info. So you can keep going, and we'll just go behind a few minutes, but don't worry about it.
Thanks. Why don't I answer questions? I don't want to blab forever about new stuff. So why don't I take some questions and we'll go from there.
Grayson is asking, are these planos grid wall compatible or just slat wall?
Both.
Both. There you go.
Yep.
Joanne Roday is asking, what exactly do the shears do?
Do you mean the sheaths, the extenders?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is.
So they basically they fit onto your dick and become an extension of your body. So they're hollow on the inside. To get them on, you basically squeeze the air out and they suction down onto you. And then they become basically a wearable penetrator. So almost like a wearable dildo. So ours are different shapes, different sizes. Muscle that I have been pointing to is super smooth on the outside. It's got kind of a realistic head. They're really soft. They feel real, but they're firm enough to penetrate with. They're not so soft that you poke through them. They actually hold their shape even if you're not all the way hard. So great for guys that are experiencing any kind of ED. They can wear something and have a more natural experience rather than trying to use a lot of maybe medications or cock rings and things like that. Yeah, did that answer your question? They're an extension of you. You wear them and you penetrate with them.
I think that was a very good explanation. Byron Love is asking, he's looking for a masturbator who is very girthy. Do you guys have any on your lines?
Yes, and they're not listed on your show thing, but they're available all at East Coast News. I'm going to show you 2.
Yep. Now remember, guys, he's just showing a smaller collection of his line as we have limited time. So his whole line will qualify for the ECN show. So everything on the Oxballs and Hunky Junk line qualify for the show specials.
Yeah, so these are good sellers. I don't recommend them I don't put them on the show special because I feel like you guys can seek out stuff like this on your own. You guys know when you need a masturbator. We have one that's a little bit more elaborate. It's called Screwed. It's like this whole, it looks like a big bolt. So it's got this really cool kind of spiral texture all through the outside, and that's actually mirrored down the inside if you can see that. So that's what the texture is on the inside. It feels really neat. So this one's called Screwed, really big, thick, girthy. You see it in my hand. And then same thing, this guy is called Jerk, really simple, easy to understand. Definitely recommend Clear in both of them. That's our best seller. And this one's a little bit smaller scale, but still really, really big, pretty big. Amount of girth and squishiness in my hand, so you can kind of adjust how it feels by gripping down onto it. Did I answer your question, Byron?
I believe it did, but we'll see if he responds back here. Mason Luke is asking, when do the colored tails come out? And Byron says, thank you.
I am confused about the question because we have some stuff coming that's going to be show tails that East Coast News will have. And then East Coast News also already has a collection of our swirl tails that are handmade here in LA. Those are super fringe though. I'm not sure if you've seen a preview maybe that I'm not aware of.
It might be right there on your wall.
Yeah,
Mason, if you want to clarify your question. Yeah, he's saying the ones all there on your side.
Yeah, so we have them now. I mean, we don't. It's something that I know East Coast News doesn't carry everything, but they can certainly special order for you. They have ordered them in the past. They're handmade. They're a little pricey. They range from anywhere from like $70 to $130 right now, MSRP. And entirely handcrafted in Los Angeles, these beautiful kind of crazy colors. East Coast News has repped them before. It's not a mass market item. It's definitely something that obviously you would know, since you're asking about them, if you have the right market for this. I would certainly recommend black, blue, and red if you're considering different colors. I would say my experience and the challenge with this particular brand range is, the pups that want this stuff, man, they like lots of different sizing, lots of different colors. So it's very challenging to create an offering that really covers it. But it's really something that I would encourage you to maybe get some and then do special orders for anything anybody wants through East Coast News. And that way you can just get it shipped out for your customer and you can offer more than what you have to carry on the floor. Is that helpful? I know that's kind of also, I don't mean to offer challenges along with it, but I'm trying to get your eyes on what you might face when you're trying to represent this part of our business.
He followed up with, he was at an event over the weekend with a lot of pups and they were all asking about new tails. So I guess it's something the market is looking for. So Mason, just to touch up on what Ryan was saying, a lot of the stuff that we don't have necessarily stocked, we can special order for you. So just work with your rep and let her know the items that you're looking for, and she'll work with the buying team and Ryan to make sure that we get that for you. And then Michaela, to follow up on these, says she loves how those look. They really are beautiful, Ryan.
They are, and I'll tell you, they're very specific. Like you're at an event, you're at this fetish event, you've got these pups that you're talking to. That's a very specific market. I will tell you, we're about to release a new tail. I know I'm not supposed to share new stuff, but they were asking about something new. We're about to do something totally different than what's out there, and is really for a broader audience. And it will be at East Coast News very soon, like in the next 120 days, and it'll be different than that, and it will be very colorful. That's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to try to sell something that I don't have yet with ECN.
Susan Menino is saying, thank you for the different explanation of slings. We'll be accentuating the explosion. You're still the best. Barb Levine says, please tell me again the name of the extender good for men with erectile dysfunction.
All of ours are good for that, I'll tell you. And the reason that is, we design them all to be an extension of you and locked down in the same way. So it's the pressure that allows for them to be used with somebody that's got ED. So what happens is when you squeeze out this air of any of them, this is the way you get all of our sheets on. You place your head here and you squeeze out the air. When you let that go, that suction, that pressure locks this down in place and pulls down onto you and holds it in place. So what happens is, and they're all firm enough to kind of hold their shape within reason with somebody that's got some kind of, got themselves inside this. So whether it's muscle, or whether it's Butch, or whether it's our new muscle Ripped, or whether it's the Invader, all of these guys will all do that. So all of our sheaths will function that way. I would tell you, if that's the market you're after, again, I revert back to Muscle and Butch being our two that I think you should have side by side. So it gives somebody some difference in, how much detail they want, as well as how big they want something, and creates a nice, well-rounded offering. I would tell you, as an add-on, East Coast News has one of our newer items for anybody that's buying this for ED, and that is the Adjust Fit bullets. So what that is it's the stop cap that goes in the tip of these. Every one of our sheaths comes with one, but you may want to take up more space if somebody's intending to wear this not fully hard. And what these Adjust Fit add-on bullets do is they allow someone to continue to put more and more of these bullets inside, and so that it fills up the space and makes the core a little bit less deep. So if that's what you're gonna be after, and you have a customer that's for that, I would tell you to buy two of these sheaths, Butch and Muscle, and also add the Adjust Fit bullet inserts and merch those all side by side so that you can explain why those are there and how to sell them.
Let's see. Mason is asking if those are easy to get in and out.
Yes, with lube. Lube is your friend with all of our toys. Definitely necessary for all of our extenders. And worth saying, everything that I've shown you guys today, everything behind me, everything that's on the planograms, and everything that is on the focus list for the show from East Coast News is all safe to use with both silicone and water-based lubricant. So solves this issue of people being married to one type of lubricant. It's really hard to ask somebody to get a divorce when they have a favorite lube style. So you don't have to with our stuff.
Barb and Luvenia say thank you for the information. Killian Hawk, great name. is saying Oxballs is by far the best seller in cock rings, and customers come in looking for them by name sometimes. Thank you for always making such great products. Thanks for the kind words, Killian. Byron Love is asking for the part number for the bullets.
Give me 1 second, Byron, and I'll get it for you.
Okay.
Can I give you the ECN part number?
Yes, please.
It'll be OXB-0649.
Say it one more time. I'll put it in chat. OXB.
-0649.
OXB-0649. It is now in the chats. All right. So it looks like we have a raffle to do. So Ryan, what are you raffling off today?
We just want to get something really basic for you guys. I'm sure everybody uses an Apple product of some sort. So we did a $100 gift certificate from Apple. You guys can buy music, buy a new phone that's coming, anything like that.
Awesome. So the winner of this is Donna Frisbee. Donna Frisbee, congratulations on your $100 Apple gift card. We will get that shipped out to you after a few days. So thank you again for participating and joining our show, and congrats on your win. Now, Ryan, as always, it's a pleasure to work with you and see your presentation. You always do such a great job. Thank you for all the support and everything that you do for East Coast News as a whole. And thanks for just being an awesome brand and an awesome guy in general, and with a cool setup. So thank you again. Have a great day. Good luck with everything. Stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you soon. Any last words?
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, East Coast News.